chard and leaf beet that are both like a spinach. We've just finished our purple sprouting broccoli. We've got Jerusalem artichokes. We've started potatoes in the polytunnel. We're trying to get earlier crops each year. So we harvested potatoes and we're eating them now. Oh, we've always got salad. We managed to do salad all year round, indoor and outdoor chicory. We've got lovely wild rocket that's seeded itself all over the garden, so we've got huge clumps, more than we can eat, so we bring a lot here and the men on Arran. We've got carrots starting, parsnips, swedes, turnips, French beans, runner beans. Right, so apart from all that veg, we've got apples, pears, rhubarb, gooseberries, raspberries, strawberries, red currants, black currants. And a man at Brodick Castle gave us a wineberry plant, so we'll have wineberries one day, but we don't really know what they're like yet. We've put blueberries in, but they're a bit slow at the moment. We try to weed the beds, put seaweed on, and then bracken on top to stop the seaweed drying out. We do quite a lot of cardboarding to suppress weeds if we haven't got time to weed properly. And then we've started using the woven black plastic to suppress weeds. The brand name is Pharmasol. It's sort of, you know, that woven stuff, so it still breathes and lets water in. And that's a real help. If you haven't got time, you can just put it down on an area and weigh it down against the wind, and then when you lift it up, it's just a bit of hoeing or couch grass to dig out and your bed's ready to use then.
Can you give us some sense of scale? What land area and how many people are you feeding?
And the walled garden is 1 acre, so probably about half of that is actual bed space. So that's like half an acre, so it's divided into 5 parts. So I think each bed might be something like 2,000 square feet, so it's quite a big industrial scale, not industrial scale, but like market garden scale almost. And then I think we were trying to feed about 16 people before. Now there's about 8 or 9.
We've worked out which crops do well. Like we can put loads of onions in and just leave them. They don't need a lot of attention. So then we'll start bringing onions to the north end, onions and garlic, probably some courgettes, peas definitely, and salads. We'll have more than we can use, so then we'll bring them here or to the men on Arran. And Jerusalem artichoke and pumpkins. Pumpkins do very, very well, and we had, was it last year or the year before, we had over 100, 4 or 5 different varieties. They did great, didn't they?
Yeah.
And stored pretty well. In fact, I think we had pumpkins up to about April, the ones that we managed to store from last year.
Nature of everything is changed. So we should say that this coming century is for the farmers' century because everybody will depend on food and everybody wants healthy food. So if they trust that their many generations of their farming have given them something continuation in their life, and if they do everything right, I think even I was looking into program saying the organic food will be very positive because it will not go up price so high as the importing ones. So in the cheaper food which is imported with higher gasoline price, they will go up higher and higher, means organic food will then not be expensive issue. And I see our farmers have a really good, we call future. But they have to be really mindful of not using this poison. Yes, should be proper organic. Holy Island is a prime example in the world, a small tiny island where all sort of people can come and feel happy about themselves and able to participate. And as you can see, we planted over 35,000 trees, and which is already resulting, if you manage to look how much tree growth taking place.
Planting trees, we're hoping to promote a lot more bird life coming to the island. And as you know, they're usually over the globe. They're chopping down forest trees and everything, and you know, especially the rainforest, and that's most of the world's oxygen that we need. So it's good for us to try and combat that a bit by growing trees to produce more fresh oxygen in the air. And as I say, when I'm working here in the garden, I use manual tools and not machinery, because you're using oils and it's put pollution into the atmosphere. To make it more environment friendly, I use a hand push machine and ordinary manual tools to keep it environment friendly. And everything's organic. I grow here, because when the horses come down, I collect all the horse dung. I go down to the beach and I collect all the seaweed, and I cut bracken, and I use both, and I just put it straight on. Instead of having a composter, I just put it straight on to the ground. And if the conditions are right, it'll only take the worms 3 months to transform it into a rich soil. But if it's not the right conditions, it'll still happen, but it'll just take a bit longer. In Holy Island we grow hazel, we grow oak trees, hawthorn trees, blackthorn trees, and we don't grow so much of the size of the sycamore tree here, because they spread quite well themselves. The trees spread quite well themselves, we don't bother so much, but the trees that, like I'm talking about, we plant a lot of those. And there's areas where it's taken over with a certain type of tree. Sometimes, you know, the seedlings, sometimes we've got to clear them away to make space for maybe oak trees or blackthorn or whatever. We do have some evergreen trees, but it's mostly deciduous trees. But like say around the garden there, we have lots of beech trees. They must be at least 150 years old, the size of them. And we have some oak trees round the back. And the willow trees grows quite well here, willow. And I've got escallonia as well. It grows well in Arran, so I planted them here as a windbreak, and they're doing quite well.
We've just been given a Millennium Forest Award to start a tree nursery, to grow trees from our own seeds and such to plant on Holy Isle. And so we collected Sorbus arinensis seeds on Arran, that's the unique Arran white bean, and we've got the Sorbus rupicola that just grows on the edge of the cliffs where the animals haven't been able to get it and eat them. So we managed to get quite a lot of seeds from both, and it was just very lucky that year. It was a good year and loads of them did grow. But a lot of people have said they've had trouble and not been able to propagate them. And in fact, last year we collected seeds and we didn't get any. But that first year we did it was a good year, and we got, how many would you say?
Maybe 35 or an inch or something. And 100, nearly 200 rubicolas.
What I have achieved